And today I have a very special guest joining me on the line from his current tour, and a man dubbed as the Ringo Starr of the Editors. Good afternoon, Ed Lay. How you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, not bad.
Well, Ed, growing up as a lad in Ipswich, did you have a genre or the sound of a specific band where you blare their stuff out and thought, you know what, if ever I'm in a famous band, that's the sound I'd like to have?
God, blimey, what like an influence, I suppose.
Yeah.
I really liked there's a band called Therapy when I was growing up, like an Irish rock band. They were so exciting to me. It was the first show I went to down in London at the Shepherd's Bush Empire, and I was overwhelmed by it really. And it
Right.
just made me want to get into live music.
Yeah. So you had that sort of influence there, and that was, I'm guessing, what, sort of mid-90s perhaps, or maybe a bit
Yeah,
later?
exactly. Sort of 93, I think it was. I was sort of 13, 14.
Oh, right, yeah. So you're at that sort of age where you're sort of forming your own influences on where you want to go, sort of thing. So
Exactly. So that my brother listened to a lot of music, and I sort of picked and chose what I liked of that, and then obviously you get your friendship groups, and that completely determines who you are. And luckily, my friends like music, and we tried to start bands together growing up. So that was kind of how I got into it.
right, I see. Yeah, that's the path you took. So, well, onto the Editors then. The Backroom album was released. The music world finds out who you are, and when you get time to catch a breath, do you look back and think, "Wow, it's been 13 years since our first album"?
It's yeah. I was just talking about that, one of our crew members actually, because he went to university at the same place that we did, but a couple of years afterwards. It's pretty insane that time's gone past so quickly. We've had our ups and downs. We've had some fairly large problems within the bands, which we've lost a member at one point. We've gained a couple
Right.
over the years, and it's not easy sailing, not plain sailing rather, but we always thought that we've got more in us. So even though we sort of ran into those points that we could have probably split up, we thought we should carry on and keep making music. And I think this tour's been our best in the UK for such a long time. It feels like we've really re-engaged with a lot of our public.
That's good. That's the Violence album that was out earlier this year, I believe.
That's right, yeah. So this is our sixth record, and one that I think sort of really is a mixture of everything we've done, sort of rolled up into one over the previous five.
Right, and obviously getting well received, I'm guessing, when you've been out on tour. So
Yeah, the tour's been great. I mean, we're playing Brixton Academy tonight, which is sold out, which is, considering Block Party at Ali Pali and U2 are playing the O2, sell out, 5,000 people venue in London on that same night. It's testament really to how many fans we've got in London.
well, quite. I mean, you're certainly in good company there with those venues and those names you mentioned. So that's
Oh,
excellent.
absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, for different reasons, we all play music at home or on our way to work to try and get inspiration from different songs. How comforting, perhaps, is it, or even say surreal, to think that, well, since 2005, your fans are doing the same thing from your music?
Yeah, people have been coming to our shows that actually had their sort of first dates or met at one of our shows 10, 15, 10, 11, 12 years ago. And they're sort of coming back, and there's a little bit of nostalgia to it, I suppose, because people have been listening to our music for an awful long time, 13 years since the Backroom. But I don't feel that we're all about the nostalgia. I think, like I say, this album
No.
seems to have connected, and the new songs, I think people are getting a lot out of. So hopefully that means we've still got something left in the tank, and we can continue to write songs that mean something to people.
Yeah, because I mean, since the early days success of the albums, I think the Backroom, and then was it an end has a start after that?
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah,
right.
and there was the platinum success, etc. I mean, there's obviously a real versatility because initially, obviously, very much the sort of indie rock scene, should we say, and then obviously now more of a electronic theme. Has that been with this album? Have you got like a mixture of the two combined? Then would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we worked with a really aggressive electronic producer called Blank Mass, who's
Hmm.
comes up with some really crazy sounds and quite difficult to listen to at some points. But we sort of polished that off slightly by working with another producer called Leo Abrahams, who really put the band onto the records, the more sort of traditional rock elements of our band. He sort of eked that out and got a bit more personality on it. So I feel like it is a real mix between the two.
That's good. That's good. Well, finally, I'm going to ask you about pre-show rituals. Do you have any routine, or maybe even a lucky mascot that you take with you to get that feeling right?
No, We've got one of our techs he's a toy collector, so quite often you'll get on stage to sound check and he'll have arranged some sort of diorama of his silly little toys that he's picked up over the last couple of days on your instruments on top of the bass cab or in my drum kit, and it's so that's fairly amusing. It keeps us guessing what's going to be there next. You know?
Yeah.
But other than that, not really. We just do a little fist bump before we go on. Nothing over the top. Just sort of tell each other, just enjoy it, because it can be quite easy to forget that you're there to sort of make people happy, and you should be happy yourself and in the moment. So yeah, that's kind of all we do, really.
Yeah, it's very, very important to enjoy these things, as well as obviously performing and sort of doing a job, so to speak. It's obviously liking what you're doing, and it comes across, I think, in any sort of successful artist. Well, Ed, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and giving us a good insight into your world there in the editors. Well, look after yourself, and good luck with your tour in Brixton tonight.
That's very kind. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Well, that's it for me, everyone, and back to the studio.